Hi, everybody. This is Marilyn. We have um, we have audio, more or less. Audio good. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everybody. This is Marilyn, and it's noontime. Welcome to my world on the 13th, Friday, the 13th of November. So I thought I'd take a second here. We had a lot of news come in. None of it was especially good. And looks like now the market, at least TF, if for those of you who are watching these indices and trade these indices, TF normally, historically, is the leader of those four: the TF, the NQ, the YM, and the ES. And it has been a little bit, I don't know, a little bit anemic compared to the others for the last week or so. But today it has definitely been the strongest of those four. I really suggest that you make, if you are an indices trader, and even once in a while, but just for an overview of the market every day, is to have 30-minute candle charts of those in little bitty squares. You don't need much. It's just to give you an overview of which one of those is the strongest market, and then look to trade the one that's the strongest, because that's the one that's going to be moving. If you put those all in a row across the top or down the side in a little stack or something, they're real easy to see and make an assessment on that. Gold has stayed in its little tiny chop all day, and everything else has moved. Of course, the Canadian dollar has been a very unhappy camper all day, along with crude oil. That's typical. Those two tend to trade together. The dollar's gone up a little bit while the euro's gone down, and those two tend to trade opposite, as do bonds and the Japanese yen. Yesterday, gold really moved, and the associated commodity currency for gold is the Aussie dollar. So those two are big friends. They trade very closely together. The DAX makes a good secondary indicator for these indices and markets, because it's the European, it's the German answer to the Dow, but it is heavily traded in Europe, and because of the time zones, it will lead the U.S. indices, especially in the morning. Having said that, this morning, one of the things I wanted to call to your attention is on this 30-minute chart. When you see this morning, this was about, I don't know, 7:30. It just kind of topped out here and started a little candle, and you don't really know what's going to happen. But when you see this, and then you notice this is like a waterfall. It's a cascading of these red candles down. When it gets to about 4, which it did right here, there's a magnet right here. You can barely see it on this thing, but if you go back and check on a bigger chart, it's real obvious. But when it cleared there and continued this waterfall, typically you'll get 4 or 5 big red candles, and then it will put up, it's blowing off a little steam, is what it's doing. The traders that have been short up here start taking profit, and that's when you see this this wick up here sticking up, because this went up here to the open and then went right back down again and started some more. But after 5 or 6 of these things, this is even 7, then it, for sure, when it comes into lunchtime and it's doing this, this is typical of what you expect. It's blowing off some steam. There's some profit taking in here, And so as these contracts are bought back, because they were sold up in this area here, and as they're bought back, then it causes these to go into a green mode. I have seen people come in here that aren't real familiar with how we trade in here, and all the way down they're looking for a reversal. Well, if the apex systems are not telling you any reversal, there isn't any. You have to wait until you see something. And right here on the on this I zone, you started to see something here, but it didn't last very long. And that is to be anticipated because the whole darn morning has been going down, 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 down. So if you take any of these up, you need to be aware that you are taking scalp trades. You're not looking for a big trend reversal right there because nothing has told us that it's going to reverse. It's just blowing off some steam. And yeah, you can take some nice trades like this last one, even right here off of this 210 from the top of this buy zone when it cleared the EMA. You can expect that to at least go to the top of the 20-minute range channel, and more likely this deviation level right here. So, but look what's happening now. Right now, this is the RSI is pointing down. We've got the mountain on this is starting to point down. So right here, you need to be aware if you've had a nice profit on that trade and you've got, 20 ticks or so, 15, 20 ticks in a scalp off of the against the trend, that's going to be a nice so-called anti-trend trade because the trend is definitely southbound. This is just now making a green MVP over here. Don't know if that's going to last or not, but time will tell. This morning, we've had a lot of questions. One of the things we've had a lot of questions about, and we do from time to time, is how to set up the dome. So I thought I'd take a second if anybody would like for me to, and I'll show you quickly how to set that up because there are videos in Ninja, and I know I've watched some of those and they kind of lose you, or they do me anyway. And there are some also on the forum, but it just takes a second. So let me pull up one. I'll show you how you do that. You go to your file, new, and go not to the dynamic Superdome, go to the static Superdome right here. And click on that, and it'll come up somewhere. Here, let me drag it over here. So now you've got this, and you will have to put the market that you want, which this list matches your instrument manager list. So if you haven't the right contracts on in your instrument list, they aren't going to show up here. So we can take one of these. I don't trade the NQ, but we can do this. There are several different theories on how you do this. So you're going to have to sit down with your pencil and your paper and your calculator and figure out just how much risk and reward you're willing to take. So just to start, if you take one contract and you have to change this none to custom, it gives you a little box here and you can tell it how much of a stop loss. You just click on the little thing here and how much of a profit target you want. So let's just say what we decided is we're going to take a 20 tick stop loss and a 35 tick, or let's just say 40 tick profit target, whatever it is you want to do. When you get through with that, you right click out here in the middle of nowhere and you go to manage ATM strategies and you type in here whatever it is you want that to be and save it. You can have 100 of them in there if you want to. But some people will take 3 of these. So if you want to change this to 3, and they will drop 1 off at 10 ticks or 5 ticks or whatever it is they're doing, whatever you want. And this is not considered the profit. This contract is never meant for profit. This is the contract that pays the bills. Then you have target number 2 is going to be something else. You can have it, if you separate these stop losses with some amount, then you can drag them separately. And you can have your next profit target for a reasonable amount of profit, and then your third one you can let run. That's the money maker. And the same thing, you just right click in the gray area, go to manage ATM strategies. Another thing I would suggest you do is, and if you don't want all this down here, once you click on this little button here and it takes it away, but over here in the margin, right click and go to properties, and you can set up this thing to do select your ATM strategy on submission. There's some other choices in here. You can change the font, which I want mine bold, and you can change the color. If you have 2 or 3 domes up and you're using them for different, you can change the background color up in here so you don't get them mixed up and click on the wrong one. You can have it display in points or dollars or percent or whatever suits your fancy. You can, one thing I find very helpful is to have the, there's a middle button clicker on here that I keep on true, because you can put a stop order in. For example, if you want to sell it when it gets down to this point, you can click on your middle mouse roller. Well, let's see, maybe I'll put it up here since it's headed down like this, and it will hold that out there until it goes up and hits that, and then you're activated. If you don't see this on your chart, at the top of each chart is a little, I don't know, these look, I guess they're little chart bubbles, but it's right here. You can click on that and it'll show up, those will show up on your chart, and then you can drag them. You change your mind, you want to tighten up a stop, you want to move one to break even, you can drag them wherever you want. So I hope that helps make that as clear as mud. The other thing I wanted to point out to you is we try to keep this chat, you know, short little things, because there's a lot of people trading different markets in here, and they scroll up and down trying to find stuff that's pertinent to what they are using. But please take the time to grab this stuff that Lori put a really nice blurb up here somewhere. I think let's see what time this is. Yeah, it's at 11:57. Please take the time to look that over, because this, I talked yesterday about the X-ray vision that we're getting. It's basically an order flow. I just cannot tell you how wonderful this thing is. However, programming it is going to cost some serious money. And we're trying to not have the membership fees go up while at the same time bringing more and better stuff online. So it gets to be where Daryl is having to subsidize this tremendously. So if we can all kind of lend a hand, and if you do Facebook, put your successes on your Facebook page and spread the word, and see if we can all set a goal to maybe bring one or two members in over the next 30 days, because the income potential with these indicators is incredible. And when you see this new thing, I I literally I'm so excited I can hardly stand it. If I knew anything about programming, I would volunteer to go and stay with one of the programmers and help. Um, I one of those people that it's kind of like, thanks for the thought, but no help from you is probably the best thing. Anyway, let's see if we can all try to increase the membership a little bit, because it really helps. It costs a small fortune to keep this room open 24/7. I can tell you that too. So anything that anybody can do to spread the word. This is kind of the best kept secret in all of trading, as far as I can see. I've seen a lot of stuff, and trust me when I tell you, I get emails from some of these people, and they're trying to sell me something. One day, I tried to get enough screenshots to show you. It was hysterical. The U.S. dollar was screaming up, and bonds were screaming down, which was so obvious on a 30-minute little candle chart, just like we use. And this guy was so proud of himself. He had sold the dollar and bought bonds. And I'm like, well, gee, I wonder how much underwater you are by tomorrow morning. Unbelievable. So never underestimate how much more you know than the average just from using this. So anyway, this has been my view from my world. I went on and on and on. I'll get off my soapbox now. And I'll come back at noon. We'll see with these kinds of moves in the morning on crude oil. I'm not sure we're going to have too many more good opportunities. But if you have any questions you want me to go over at 2:30, I'll be happy to do that too. So this has been my view from my world in Apex land, brought to you by Apex Investing. I'll see you at noon. Thanks.